one. I give no difference to anybody at the top of that scale, and that's where our goals have to be. That's where our goals have to be number one.
And welcome to another edition of Inside PressBox. I'm your host, Stan the Fan Charles, and that was Towson Athletic Director Mike Waddell at the groundbreaking ceremony for the new Tiger Arena. Later in the show, we'll hear from former Towson football and lacrosse coach Carl Runk, who I spoke with at that ceremony about how far the Towson Athletic Department has come and the big job Mike Waddell has ahead of him. I'll also talk to Jonathan Herbst, the grants chairman of Sports Boosters, a local nonprofit whose members have been supporting youth sports since 1950. But joining me now is the man you saw at the open of the show, Towson Athletic Director Mike Waddell. Mike, you look like you're wearing the same yellow, what's it called?
Square.
Pocket square.
Oh,
yeah.
It was a gift from one of our Tiger Club members, so you wear it and enjoy representing the brand of Towson University 24/7.
Tell us a little bit about, it's close to about 9 months, right, since you came in. You're just in the process of moving your family here.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about how tough that's been.
You know, you look back over the career and everybody knows about the transitions that coaches make, but this is my 7th school in 22 years. I've had the...
Life deserves a medal,
Oh, she does, but one of the reasons why we've been married for 19 years, and I am married to a saint, my wife Heidi, but we've been separated over 3 years at different times through these transitions, and it was a year and a half between my last 2 schools and now 9 months this time. So the families really don't get the credit, but my wife and my son Drew and my daughter Caroline deserve a lot of credit.
Now, all kidding aside, you've been on this job for 9 months. This is a job that I know you feel that this is going to be one you're here for quite a while.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a great opportunity, and when I had the opportunity to come to Towson and interview last September 20th and 21st, I told Bob Corrett, who was our president at that time, that I wanted to go to a place where my daughter could graduate high school, and we'll be in the Parkton schools where we're moving to, and look forward to being here for a long time. We have so much to do and so much potential here at Towson University.
Now, you just mentioned President Corrett. Did he tell you at the time that he might not be here that much longer? Because he hired you and then within, I think, 60 or 90 days announced that he was moving. Where'd he go, to UMass?
Right, he's the new head of the University of Massachusetts system, but no, he didn't share that with me. And while working with President Corrett was certainly one of the attractive features of this position, Towson is so much more than any one person or any one time. And it's a great university, it's world class, and though he left on day 79, so many other changes have gone on. Just in our own department, we've had 27 new employees join our ranks since the beginning of November, and that's just the ebb and flow. When you're at a school the size of a Loyola or a Morgan or a Coppin or a Towson, you're going to have some transition because you hire talented people and then they move on. And we've had some great people who have been part of Towson Athletics who have moved on to better opportunities for them, and we've gone out and assembled a staff that I'll tell you, especially on the external side, I probably have a better staff here at Towson than I had as the senior associate AD at the University of Cincinnati for the last 5 years. It's an outstanding group.
Now, as you'll hear when we talk to Carl Runk a little bit later on, Carl and I talked a little bit about Jerry Sandusky's comments the day of the groundbreaking of the new arena. And Jerry, to me, aptly put it that sometimes you don't know how big you are because you're used to thinking small. Do you sense that as a job description for you, to be the guy that thinks big?
I think that's part of it. I want to put people in authority positions in our department as coaches, as student athlete leaders, as staff leaders who dream big. Robert Kennedy and many other people have been attributed with this quote that some people see what is and say why, others see what isn't and say why not. And we have a lot that's possible, and it takes some new thinking sometimes to push things forward. But I want to give credit to the staff that has been at Towson for a long time, because I'm the 3rd different athletics director out of the last 6 years. Wayne Edwards, Mike Herman, now myself. And they've gone through a lot of change. So I'm really thankful to have a large proportion of our staff that has a very open mind, that is looking at things through a different prism right now, and hopefully that's going to lead to some great things in the future, and I'm looking forward to a great time here at TU.
Now, you've had some exciting things going on. You've also had some tough calls early on in your first full year on the job. You dismissed a basketball coach, and you got the resignation of a longtime and sort of a legend in the lacrosse coaching world. How tough were those decisions, and how tough was it to find replacements? One, it was like you went out, not a needle in a haystack, but you really searched. The other guy turned out to be right under your nose after a search.
Sure. In college basketball, you have over 300 college basketball programs that are already competing to have a chance to go on to the Final Four and to be in that field of 68 now. So it's a very widespread field that you pick from. And you might have calls, like I got a call one morning from Phil Jackson talking about one of his assistants with the Lakers. And it was about an hour after I got a call from Roy Williams. And that all happened before 8 a.m. one day back in March. Phil Jackson called. It was pretty neat. In fact, it was right after I talked to Coach Williams from Carolina, and I thought it was somebody playing a joke on me that knew that he had called. And it was our mutual friend from Durham who called me, and I gave him a little bit of the business, I thought, but it was really Phil. But, you know, everybody was been great. And sure, when you're dealing with guys like Pat Kennedy and Tony Seaman, you're talking about guys who've accomplished so much in Hall of Fame careers. And with basketball, after a 15th consecutive losing season, I think everybody, including Pat, expected that we'd be moving in a different direction. With the lacrosse program, we have a great tradition and a great responsibility here at Towson to field a strong program. And Tony had done a magnificent job. He's still one of only 3 coaches in the history of college lacrosse to take teams to the Final Four. And we're very fortunate to have Tony as part of our Towson family to this day. He's a special assistant to the director of athletics at Towson, works with us in fundraising, but also in leadership development. And that's one thing when you look over the pantheon of Towson athletics, to the Phil Alberts, the Gordy Combs, and also to the Carl Runks that we'll hear from here in just a little bit. They're all great leaders, and Tony Seaman, along with those guys, helps us develop that next generation of Tigers as well.
When we get back, I want to talk to you a little bit about how tough it was to come into a community where you didn't know an awful lot of people. We'll talk more with Mike Waddell when we return, and we will return with Mike Waddell right after this. This portion of Inside PressBox has been brought to you by the Maryland Lottery's Double Play Scratch Off. Scratch the front, peel the back, plus enter non-winning tickets at mdlottery.com/doubleplay for a chance to win cash and great Orioles prizes.